What's poppin', people? My name is Dukhed, and today I'd like to discuss what is my idea of a perfect Battlefield game. Now, I won't be taking like every good thing from every game, because if I did that, then I would just say make Battlefield 3 over again, because Battlefield 3 is, like, in my opinion, the most perfect Battlefield game that's ever existed. Even if you don't think it's perfect, it's as damn near closest to perfect as you can get, and it still holds up today. So I'm not going to be saying, take everything from every Battlefield game that was good. More so just going to be doing the highlights of what I perceive to be the best things from every Battlefield game. Now, I'll be starting like as early as Bad Company 2, because that's the game that I'm the most knowledgeable on in terms of how early it came. But from Bad Company 2, I would like to see the dynamic destruction come back. There is no reason that a Battlefield game released a decade plus after fucking Battlefield Bad Company 2 has worse destruction than Battlefield Bad Company 2. Absolutely no reason for it. We need that dynamic destruction back, where you can level whole entire buildings, right? Now, I'm not saying that the whole map should fucking be leveled to a flat ground to where it eliminates cover for infantry and things of that nature, but we should get some nice, clean destruction that is on par with Bad Company 2, keeping the flow of the map, of course. So that's what I would like from Bad Company 2. Moving on to Battlefield 3. Once again, I'm not going to say everything about Battlefield 3 because I'll be here all day. But a highlight of what I want from Battlefield 3 is the map design. The map design was God tier. Damavan Peak, Grand Bazaar, Sign Crossing, Caspian Border, Karg Island, right? Operation Firestorm, Terran Highway. Fucking, do I need to go on all the in-game maps? All the close quarters maps? Strike at Karkan, which I know those were previous Battlefield maps, but anyway, whatever. Point still stands. Every single map in Battlefield 3 was good to God tier. Operation Metro. I didn't even mention that shit. The maps in Battlefield 3 were amazing. We need that design philosophy back in the Battlefield franchise or whatever Battlefield they come out in 2025. I really hope that design philosophy comes back. We need it because it was amazing. Also, the atmosphere. The atmosphere in Battlefield 3 was amazing. With the cursing, I'm being fucked up the ass over here when people are fucking, under fire, getting grenades thrown at them. The shit that the soldiers say, they sound like actual fucking soldiers and not goofy goddamn Avengers characters. We need that back. We need the atmosphere of Battlefield 3 back. The vehicle play. I like the vehicle play in Battlefield 3. I liked it a lot. It kind of segues me into my next point of Battlefield 4. And I want vehicle play back from Battlefield 4, but I want it to be a mixture of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. I didn't really like the limited ammo count in Battlefield 4 in terms of vehicle play, because it made it difficult to verse multiple vehicles at a time. So I would want it to be a mixture of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. But outside of the ammo count, the vehicles were the most balanced they've ever been in Battlefield 4. That's when the vehicles were most balanced. They had the highest skill ceiling. You had to be good with vehicles to dominate. I love the vehicles of Battlefield 4. I would like the attack helicopter to be more close in line with the Battlefield 3 attack helicopter, but I think that's the limited ammo held it back just a little bit. The attack boat was great. The tanks were great. The LAVs were great. The attack jets were great. The stealth jets were great. Every single vehicle in Battlefield 4 was very well balanced, and they interacted very well with the balance of the infantry. We need that vehicle balance back. And also just regular balance. Battlefield 4 is a very balanced game in my opinion. It was very balanced. Assault class, it was the most powerful, but support wasn't too far behind it. You got access to ammo, you got access to LMGs. Recon, you got access to sniper rifles and C4 as well as support. Engineer, don't really need to say anything about engineer. You can repair vehicles, you can have rocket launchers, things of that nature. The balance in Battlefield 4 was great. It was really good. Customization, gun customization. The gun customization in Battlefield 4 was amazing, and the gun variety in Battlefield 4 was fucking amazing. You could customize your barrels. You can have a bunch of types of grips, right? You can have a bunch of types of fucking underbarrel attachments, things of that nature. Just great customization, great all around customization. I really liked it. Moving on to Battlefield 1. The atmosphere, and I know I already mentioned Battlefield 3's atmosphere, but the atmosphere in Battlefield 1 is absolutely second to none. Second to no one. Second to none. The atmosphere in Battlefield 1 is so fucking good that it made you forget about or not take into account certain silly game mechanics that Battlefield 1 had. Because I consider Battlefield 1 to be an A tier fucking game. simply because of how good the atmosphere was, with the soldiers screaming, with the music, with the motivational speeches before operation rounds, with the dirt and shit that got on your gun when you went through mud. That game has amazing atmosphere. It made up for the fact that vehicles were trash. Vehicles are way too easy to use. It was way too easy to dominate in an attack fucking plane. It was way too easy to dominate in a tank. You could sit behind the action with a fucking goddamn artillery truck and just rain down fucking mortars on people and go like 50-0. That game was so good in its atmosphere that it made you forget those things. We need that serious, gritty atmosphere back in our Battlefield games. We need it. We have not had this shit since Battlefield 1, 2016. Please, for the love of God, DICE, please get rid of these cringe fucking specialists and bring back the gritty nature of Battlefield that was present in Battlefield 3 and especially Battlefield 1. That's all I like come back from Battlefield 1. Moving on to Battlefield 5. The gunplay in Battlefield 5 was amazing. Before like all the TTK bullshit, before holiday season 2019, the gunplay in Battlefield 5 was spectacular. It felt satisfying. It was a lot of skill involved, recoil control involved. The gunplay was amazing. It was really good. I would like for that to come back. It was very reminiscent, to be honest, of Battlefield 3's gunplay, just without suppression. But I would like the gunplay to come back. Very good gunplay. The squad system. The squad system in Battlefield 5 was amazing. Calling in smoke strikes, calling in artillery strikes, calling in supply drops, calling in V1 rockets, calling in extra tank support, calling in a transport vehicle. We need that shit back. I don't know, for the life of me, I have no idea why they scrapped that in Battlefield 2042. And I guess you could probably say, oh, well, Dukhed, we have the vehicle calling system in Battlefield 2042. It's nowhere near as nuanced as the squad system in Battlefield 5. We need that shit back. From 2042, believe it or not, I do think there is like at least one good thing from 2042 that I'd like to see in the next Battlefield game. Squad vehicles. I love the vehicles in 2042 in terms of how many people can fit in them. The vehicle balance is shit, and a lot of vehicles feel like shit. But whatever. The squad-based vehicles are amazing. The fact that your entire squad can get in the tank, I need that shit to come back. The fact that your entire squad can get in a Wildcat, we need that to come back. A Brawler, a Mav, right? Even a fucking a Ram, which I don't want the Ram to come back, but your squad can get into a Ram if they so want to. We need that squad-based vehicle play to come back because it's very satisfying to have an entire squad and you just stay in the tank the whole game and work together. You got two gunners. I'd like that to come back. I love that. And those are things that I'd like to see in the next Battlefield. Now, moving on to the next segment of this video. This portion of the video will just be dedicated to just certain things that were present in the previous Battlefield games that aren't any longer present in Battlefield 2042, and they added to the quality of the game, and I have no idea why they took them out. They took them out because they're lazy. First of all, a fucking proper goddamn scoreboard. A proper scoreboard on launch that displays ranks, that displays kills, deaths, assists. A proper goddamn... You can't even see the rank of people on the scoreboard that you have in Battlefield 2042. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous that you can't see people's ranks. You can't see people's ranks in your squad. You can't see people's ranks in your fucking vehicles. We need that shit back. I don't understand why it fucking went away. Next, no fucking specialists, for the love of whatever God you pray to. No specialists. That would get rid of so many issues with current Battlefield. It would get rid of horrible balance, like McKay being able to zip line up to fucking places that no one else can reach. It would get rid of fuckers having access to a literal fucking TV missile with Liz. It would get rid of fucking motherfuckers like Dozer, who isn't even really a strong specialist. He's just a fucking annoying specialist because he can't be fucking attacked from the front. Your only option to attack him is to try and flank him. And if you're too close to him when you see him, he just bashes you with his shield and one-shots you. Like, no matter how much you nerf Dozer, the fact that he can do that is retarded. It's fucking stupid. We don't need that in the game. It would get rid of this shit where you have the same people fighting on each side, and you have like motherfuckers like fucking Irish speaking Russian on the fucking Russian team when he's on there. It just shit that doesn't make sense thematically, and shit that fucks up the balance. No specialists in the next Battlefield game. Please just bring back the goddamn class system. Just bring it back, please. Next, we need operations back. Why do we not have operations in Battlefield 2042? We need the operations that were on the level of Battlefield 1 operations. And this is why I believe there should be actually a campaign in the next Battlefield game. Because the campaign gives you a story. It gives you a reason that Battlefield exists in the current state that it's in. Battlefield 1 had an amazing campaign. Battlefield 5 had a good campaign, right? And it gave you a story. You understood why the soldiers were fighting. And that gives you access to like maps. You have certain maps that are based off the fucking campaign, right? So if you give us campaign, it'll give us access to things like operations. I would love to have operations back. The Battlefield 1 style of operations where they tell a story throughout the match. We need that back. We need back game modes focused like rush game modes, rush based game modes. We need that. And we need it to be like prominent like it was back in Bad Company 2 or like it was back in Battlefield 3. We need that shit back. Oh my god, I'm about to give a controversial one. No battle royale. We do not need a battle royale in the next Battlefield game. And this is the reason why. In order for I went over this in a separate video. In order for a battle royale to be successful in this current gaming landscape, it has to be on the level of Fortnite, Warzone, or Apex. Those are the top 3 battle royales on the market. And if your battle royale isn't on those levels, then it will fail. Because the battle royale is designed to bring in people from those fucking games. And if it's not up to snuff, then they'll just go back to those other fucking games. And now you've wasted all of those resources on a goddamn battle royale system. We don't need a fucking battle royale. EA, please, you already have Apex. Just make a proper core Battlefield game. Fuck battle royale. If you want to make a mode you can get for free, make the mode something like Grand Operations, to where you will have 128 players, but you only have like one map dedicated to 128 players. So this will be free, and the soldiers will have to fight for control of sectors, right? So maybe since it's 128 players, maybe make it to where there's like 4 sectors or 5 sectors or whatever have you, and you fight for control of those sectors, and you go across the map, right? And make it to where whoever, if you defend, then you win. If you go across the map, then you win as an attacker. You get what I'm saying? So the benefit of this is you won't have to make the entire game around 128 players. You just have to make like one map around 128 players. So this map could have destruction. This map could have proper destruction, proper cities, things of that nature, points of interest to fight over that aren't just like flat fucking ground, because you aren't making an entire game worth of 128 players. So that's what I would like to see in place of a battle royale. Just lean into the strengths of Battlefield. And I do not believe that the strength of Battlefield is present in battle royale, despite all these fucking hype beasts and what they got them say. And that segues me into my next point. Bring back 64 players. Bring it back. When 128 players was announced for Battlefield 2042, I was like, why are we doing 128 players? This you can't just take the player base, the player count, and just double the shit and expect it to be good. Now you have to make maps that are like better designed for 128 players. And at the time, DICE didn't really have a good track record of making maps at that time anyway, because of the maps that we got in Battlefield 5. They weren't the best. They weren't the best, right? The maps that were really good were in BF3 and some in BF1. The ones in BF5, not really, not like that. And now you want to double the player count. That makes it more difficult. Make this shit 64 players again. That way, you aren't only coming out with one fucking map a season. You can come out with 3 or 4 maps a season like you used to, or not a season, but a DLC like you used to in the older Battlefields, because there's a lesser player count. You can also have that map be more detailed, right? You can have the map have more destruction, better balanced. We need 64 players back. Also, graphics. Listen, Battlefield 2042 looks terrible. The UI looks horrible. The soldier animations look horrible. The fucking melees look fucking horrible. Why on earth does a game like Battlefield 1 look better than Battlefield 2042. And Battlefield 1 came out in 2016, and Battlefield 2042 came out a half decade later on next gen consoles. Why does a game that came out in 2021 look worse than the game that came out in 2016? And don't even get me started on Battlefield 5. Despite what you want to say about Battlefield 5, that game looked fucking amazing. It looked amazing. It looked absolutely fucking amazing. We need those graphics back. We need those shits back. The fact that Battlefield 2042 doesn't have shit like crouch sprinting, things of that nature, fucking you don't get like mud on your guns and things of that nature. Like what is that, bro? We need that shit back, man. Come on now. We need that back. The progression. We need back meaningful progression. I want to feel rewarded when I get to a certain level. Like, what are these levels in Battlefield 2042, bro? I understand that these people are no pat, so they aren't like gonna go up to like sergeant, from private sergeant, all the way up to the officer rank. I understand that, but what is this, bro? Rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that? 6, and then once you go up to 100, you start getting the S001. What the fuck is that? And the insignia doesn't even change. Where is the shit like, oh, now you're a private, you go up to corporal, sergeant, whatever have you, and then you go up to colonels. You know how rewarding it was to get to Colonel 100 in Battlefield 3? Do you know how cool it was to see, oh, well, damn, I have this many Colonel 100s on my team, and this many on the enemy team, Colonel 100s. This is going to be a hard game. Or you're in a game like Battlefield 4, and you see General 140s on the other team. Or in a game like Battlefield 1, you see General 150s, 5-star generals on the other team. Like, we need progression like that back. Meaningful fucking progression that is displayed on the goddamn scoreboard. We need that back. Gun camos. I would like for the Battlefield 5 style gun camos to come back. Or a mixture of Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. Those gun camos look fucking amazing. They look great. And on top of that, the gun camos that you got were based off skill, which there are some in Battlefield 2042, but there's no gold gun camo in Battlefield 2042. There's no silver, no platinum, none of that bullshit. There's none of that. Why don't we have that? The gun camo system in Battlefield 5 was amazing. Now, the challenges were fucking stupid. I don't want those back. The challenges were dumb. But the gun camos, the way they looked, they were fucking amazing. The ones in Battlefield 2042 are fucking god-awful. And that brings me to something else. The customization, the soldier customization. The soldiers look so fucking goofy in Battlefield 2042. They look goofy as fuck. They really do look goofy. They don't really look like proper soldiers. Not really. We need them to look like proper goddamn soldiers. Like back in Battlefield 1. Like back in Battlefield 3. Battlefield 4. We need those proper soldiers to come back. And for the love of God, please don't have us running around in like golden masks and shit like that. What is that, man? What is that, bro? That looks goofy as fuck. Platoons. We need platoons to come back. We need it. Platoons were amazing. They made it a community-based experience to where you're now meeting people, you join their platoon, maybe you have clan wars, things of that nature. It just helps the longevity of your game because it's more of a community feeling. Next, premium. I know this is probably not going to happen, but can we please get rid of this live service bullshit in Battlefield? Because ever since we've had live service, ever since we have this shit, the content drops have been fucking abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. It was like that. It gives them an excuse to like abandon the game if the game doesn't do well, which is absolute horse shit to the people who bought it. Back in Battlefield 1, we didn't have the fucking goddamn live service model. We had DLCs. It was a roadmap. This DLC is going to come out this time, this one this time, this one this time. You get what I'm saying? Battlefield 4, we had that. Battlefield 3, we had that. Do I need to go on? We need to get rid of fucking live service and bring back premium so we can get like 4 we need at least 3-4 maps on the fucking DLC. This whole shit, we had to wait 5 months in Battlefield 2042 for one goddamn map. I'm not even considering a stadium a new map because that was already fucking in the game. They just took it out and then they re-released it and said this is going to be a 2-map DLC. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Alright. And last, I know there's a lot more that I could say, but last, we need a server browser back. A server fucking browser. If you want to keep the quick matchmaking system that exists in Battlefield 2042, you can do that. Just have it be a quick matchmaking system where you don't feel like going to the server browser. You click on what you want to play. It takes you straight to a server that's running that. But for those of us that want to play a specific map or a specific mode, we can't do that. We have to roll the dice and hope that we get the fucking goddamn map that we want to get, because we're all dependent upon this fucking random ass matchmaking system. And on top of that, sorry about that in the background. On top of that, the server is broken up after the game ends. What kind of bullshit is that? So if there's a really good tank gunner that I had, I'm driving the tank, there's a really good gunner that I had, and he's giving me reps and everything. He stayed in my tank the entire time we beat the whole server's ass. Now I'm never gonna see this motherfucker again because of the fucking system with matchmaking. There were so many more things I could have gotten into. I didn't even probably scratch the surface of shit that we need in the next Battlefield game. But this is my idea of a perfect Battlefield game. And I really hope DICE brings back most of these goddamn features, because the fucking formula is literally there. The formula's there. Take the best things from Back Home to 2, the best things from BF3, the best things from BF4, the best things from BF1, BF5, 2042. If you want to go back, Battlefield 2, Battlefield fucking 1942. Take the best things from those games and put them into the next Battlefield game, and you're going to have a fucking banger. And the community wants that. You want to know why I know the community wants that. Do you remember when the Battlefield 2042 trailer dropped? When we didn't have all this specialist nonsense, we didn't really know about it, and it was just a nostalgic, basically a nostalgia bait. It was just pandering to the old player base of Battlefield, and people loved it. I think that trailer got like what, 17, 20 million views, something like that. It was an amazing trailer, and people were like, hell yeah, bro, Battlefield's back. And then we got Battlefield 2042, which was absolutely fucking nothing like the goddamn trailers. Please, DICE, you can make a good Battlefield game. Just take your heads out of your assholes and give the goddamn community what they want. Anyway, I'm out this bitch. Y'all have a good one. Let me know what you think about this, my ideas in the comment section down below. What would be your ideas for a perfect Battlefield game? Anyway, I'm out this bitch. See ya. Bye. Going.